Hey folks, welcome to week 6 of DMD 320, Application and Mobile Design. Alright, hope you guys are doing well, working hard, staying safe. Alright, this week marks the beginning of the second third of the semester. We've already finished the first third, right? We finished the first 5 out of 15 weeks, so we're a third of the way through. So great job hanging in there. We are doing good, keep moving forward. Alright, what are we doing this week? Let's take a look at the week 6 module. We'll go to the week 6 overview here. Okay, so this week is pretty straightforward. I would constitute this week as being a work week. We have lots of stuff to work on. Our main goal this week is to deliver your draft of deliverable number 4, which is the design stage of Project 1. And then, of course, once that is done, you're going to start working on deliverable 5, which is the prototyping stage. So let's take a look at that in a second here, and we'll get rolling on that. So you should be pretty knee-deep into Project 1 by now, working hard on your design stage, getting that ready for a draft deliverable so you can get some feedback from both me and your classmates. And then, of course, as you get the feedback, you can start working on your prototype. So we'll talk about that in a second. Notice that there is no media to consume this week, so nothing really new to do other than just really focus on doing your best on Project 1. Now would be a really good time to go back and make sure that you read through the Project 1 handout, because number one, there's a lot of information here, and number two, you've probably only read through it once, maybe twice. So now that you're about halfway through the project, right, you're up to the design stage, and we're really getting into the part where the prototyping is going to eat up a lot of time and require a lot of focus and detail. You don't want to miss any details, right? You want to make sure that you haven't overlooked something from the handout. So take a minute, reread through the handout, make sure that you get everything in here that's important, right? Make sure that you haven't skipped over anything that you shouldn't be skipping over. Even go back to the first deliverable, because remember, everything has to be included together in the final XD file. So make sure that your company profile, your target audience is all formatted well, it looks good on the page, using good typography, it's worth turning in. So, now's a good time to kind of clean some stuff up, including your mood board, and again, make sure that you haven't forgotten anything, right? Make sure you're using your guides inside XD so that you have nice, neat grid systems, both for your wireframes and, of course, now that you've moved down to design. So just, again, read through the handout, make sure you haven't forgotten anything or overlooked something important. You don't want to wait till the end to realize that you forgot to do something, right? Now, over here in XD, of course, like I said, you are working on the design stage where you've duplicated your wireframes probably a couple of times and are playing around with some different design options, whether it be putting in individual photographs as part of a sliding gallery or putting in individual spot photographs as part of sort of a different type of way of looking at items. You putting in video options, representations of videos for your prototype. Make sure your buttons are designed and colored the way you want to. All your interactive items like sliders and pull-down menus and foldable collapsibles, all those things, make sure that everything works the way you want it to. And again, keep it inside of a neat grid. Don't necessarily feel like you just have to use the guides for the 2 outside margins. Put guides any way you want so that it makes a nice solid grid. Even full bleed photography like this is a really great idea for really making sort of an evocative page on your app that really sort of sucks the viewer in and they really feel like they're part of it, right? So make some really good design decisions and play around with it until you're super happy with it. And maybe show a couple of options. You're designing 4 screens. If you want to show 8 screens, version 1 and version 2, and then submit that as your draft, that's a great idea. And then you can get some feedback from me and your classmates, and we can talk about which version works better. Particularly if you're not sure, right? You might have a ton of good ideas. Don't feel limited. We can always narrow it down. Okay. So make sure that you're really spending a lot of time on good design choices, from sort of broad strokes like the overall look to use of photography, little tiny subtle things like, should I put a little drop shadow under my buttons or underneath these images or not? You decide how you want that to go. Now, of course, this is the sample one we're looking at. Naturally, yours is going to have a very different or unique look and design to it. So I keep showing the example one because it's the one I have to show you. But naturally, your design should be entirely unique to you and be in line with not only your wireframes, but how you like to design things. Make sure that you are referencing back to your mood board so that you're applying that color palette and those typographic choices the way that you originally intended. And if it's not working out the way you think it's gonna, if you're like, I really thought that was gonna be a good font, but now it's not working out now that I'm applying it to the actual design artboards, go back and change it. Go back to the mood board, pick a different font that you like better, and then use that here. Remember, this is a living document that we're creating here that has all of the elements of this entire project together from your brief to your mood board to your wireframe all the way through to prototype. So you can always go backwards to the previous deliverables and make whatever adjustments you need to if it turns out during the design phase that it's not working out the way you want it to, okay? Or that maybe you just came up with some better options. That's how it goes. All right, once you get that finished and you submit your design draft, you can start plotting out the prototype. We'll take a closer look at prototyping later this week. Obviously, you already have some good prototyping skills from using XD before, but there's some new functionality that is available in XD now that you may or may not be aware of, and we will play around with that. All right, so that's it. Really hunker down and get that design phase done the way you would like it, and we will go from there. All right, so you guys work hard, and I will see you soon.